And again, I think here on the homestead, there is the right way and there's the way you have time and money for. And that's the difference. We have a creek that we have to cross with equipment and a walking cross, and it's this spot right here. Normally it's deeper, and so I changed how this entry and the exit is. I brought up the base a little bit and I shaved off the sides so we weren't going so down and then back up, which made it hard with equipment and getting our hay truck in here, because it's how we had to bring our hay truck. So I wanted to kind of see if a system that like I was thinking would work, and the cool part is it did. So what I did is I built up the base with big drain rock, and then I put more of road mix on top, and then I used these rocks on the edge to create kind of a riffraff. And my goal was to slow the water, and I created riffraff right here, slow the water coming into here a little bit, and then slow the water as it moved across a big wide open area so we wouldn't get erosion, and it worked. It worked actually quite well. So now we have a shallower place to cross, we don't have as steep an entry, and we're able to control flow in and out this way so we don't lose our sand, our aggregate that we need to kind of keep this not just all squishy rock. We needed our sand in there as well that came along with the road mix. So the one thing we didn't anticipate with this is that this time of year when all the leaves are falling, that they'd be falling in this area and block up all the little individual paths that allow this to easily flow. So we had to come in here just today and leaf blow this section so that we had an easier out, because it was creating its own dam. So we'll see. I don't think I've had enough time with this system yet to truly say it worked, but it certainly is working at this point, and it's been working for months. So we're stoked about how that turned out. So one of the things too that we developed this year that has gone well, but not as well as I hoped, is the horseback riding operation. Now Tricia has 40 years of experience of giving riding lessons but hasn't done trail riding. And the whole concept of trail riding for me is that you can have 3 riders that are paying for 1 hour rather than 3 or 4, rather than just one getting a riding lesson, and riding lessons demand less money. And so with us being close to Boise, I thought the marketing of getting people to come out here and do trail rides was going to be super simple, and it has been harder than I suspected. We spent a fair amount of money on Facebook advertising. We did get a decent amount of rides, but it seemed like the rides were kind of one-offs. And we did have some return clientele that would come back more than once, but we're still just barely with the horses earning their hay and their maintenance and their hoof trimming and stuff like that. We needed a lot more. On the good side of things, we thought we were going to have to be taking people on big trail rides. And our bottom area here has 2 creeks, and the bottom is, I believe it's 9 acres. And Tricia figured out a way where she rides different paths, and in the near future we're going to create trails actually through the forest as well where they can ride, and that will allow us pathways that they're really never in the same place twice during a 40 or 50 minute ride. And I think when we get to that level and we get more return clients, the horses are going to finally start making some money. But I kind of wanted to let you know we're not at break even, especially with the cost of purchasing the horses. Luckily, we already had the horses because Tricia brought that to the equation. But if we were trying to buy horses and build a trail riding and not having somebody on board that could have done it, this is a harder way to make money, but it's one that is a natural for Tricia. So I'll let you know kind of how that's going. But this has been okay. Is basically where we're at with the horses. So I thought you might want to know that as well. This is the milk chilling system that I wanted to kind of show you. So we pieced part of this, and you remember my friend, I mentioned Lauren before, he's my mechanic and fix anything guy, and he helped us to troubleshoot it. And what we ended up doing is we ended up using a cold plunge chilling, water chilling system. And with the cold plunge water chilling system, this is the coil that we run inside of this. And this is a beer like thing, like where people process beer. And so between the plumbing that we use and the little downspout and the cleanliness of it, what we do is we run the chilled water from the chiller through this coil. Inside of this, we put the milk in there and it chills it down in the time during when we use it every day. But it helps us to chill milk when it's almost impossible, when the ambient temperature, when it's really hot outside and it's hot in here because we don't have air conditioning. It made it very difficult to get our milk chilled quickly, which is the key to making milk taste good. Goat milk, raw goat milk. And so this was kind of an inventive way of coming up with the solution of how do we not spend, you know, $3, $4, $5, $6,000 on a milk made chilling system. That they spill it through like a falling chamber. There's a couple of different ways we do it, but this way ended up working pretty well. We did spend almost $1,000 on it because the chiller was like $300. This was like $200. I think we had $500 in that. I think the chiller was more. I think the chiller was like $700. We ended up spending about $1,000 on it, but it worked, and it worked well. And I want to show you the chilling system over here as well. The chilling system over here, this is called the Penguin Chillers. And let me be clear, I didn't really love this company or how they ran themselves, so I wouldn't choose this brand again, but it worked. And when we needed more cold, we ended up using this cooler system, and we'd put cooling blocks in there that would cool the water that was going into this. And by cooling the water that was going into this through the ice bath during the peak of the winter, and I'm a little embarrassed at the dirtiness, but again, this is a working barn. It got used today and we just haven't cleaned up since, but I wanted to show you this. But this system worked really beautifully, and it helped us to chill it. So you keep your chilling mechanism completely separate in a self-contained unit in those coils. And then the actual bath of milk that goes in there, that's very easy to clean. And we do use like a form of an acid bath that is gentle on the planet that we investigated and figured out a way around. And I can't tell you that because my people were more involved in that than I was, but I was part of setting the tone on how exactly that works. So I can't tell you that part, I apologize. But this system worked really well. So if you're trying to develop a chilling system in a little larger capacity milking operation, this can chill down. You know, we were at peak doing 12 gallons a day. By the end of the season, we were doing 4 or 5 gallons a day. Now we're down to just like 2 gallons a day and getting ready to dry up does because they're going to start, you know, they're all pregnant and getting ready to have babies, and we give them a break. And that is one other thing too that I want to mention, is that we've had to really educate our customers to realize if we want to take good care of the land, of the people working on the land, and the goats, we need a break. All of them. We need a break. The equipment needs a break. The does need a break. But you will have your customers not be in milk for about 3 months. Now this year we tested, and we're doing a little bit more with staggering our pregnancies and our kidding. So we'll have some does that kid really early that we can start having milk back for ourselves and our customers. And then we're having some does that are going to be kidding really late, so we can hold them off a little longer and keep milk in totality longer, although production will drop off and we have to get the customers used that during that time of year they're going to be taking in less. So we're considering everybody in the equation, the animals, the people, and the land and the equipment. So that's what we're at right now. We'll see if that's what we hold to long term. It's a little concerning that we probably lose customers every year from it. We could take better care of them, but again, it's not all about money. So that's been our chilling system. I thought you would want to know a little deeper about that. Now this is black locust. These black locust trees really are here because the settlers were smart enough to know a lot of these are non-native in this area. And the settlers were smart enough to know that this was the best fence post they could ever plant. And you can see we have a lot of black locust. All this with these seed pods are all black locust throughout our forest, and we have tons of it. So black locust makes for a really beautiful jack fence, which is this fence right here, where you create the A-frame and then you put the slot down the side, and it looks ranchy and it looks beautiful. The blessing of black locust is that it lasts 50 years in the ground untreated and 80 to 100 years above ground. So it has these tannins and these special properties in the actual tree itself, where it makes one hell of a fence post, and they get long enough when they're juvenile enough to make these really cool looking jack fences. My composting strategy is built around simplicity. I want it to be simple. And so this is our composting strategy. This is our pile. We do a current year's pile, which when we clean out the pens and the horses, everything goes into here. This is last year's pile. Now, we've obviously used a bunch of it, but you can see the difference in the texture of 1-year-old compost or 2-year-old compost versus almost 1-year-old compost. It is now legit, powdery, beautiful compost. And the way we've achieved that is, we get really busy here. And so I would like to say that I've rotated these piles a ton of times, but I haven't. I would like to say that I've watered them to help to create more composting action, but I haven't. And yet, just by putting these piles and rotating a little bit, which means once or twice a year is all, we are able to create compost that's like this. Now, it's working for us. And again, I think here on the homestead, there is the right way and there's the way you have time and money for. And that's the difference. So I love interacting with the people who show up at a Ripple Ranch. If you follow me, I talk about that one of the major things that I see in my life that I have a duty to God to is to connect with other human beings. Because when we connect, especially in a really authentic way, we both grow. And when we connect and build a relationship with large amounts of people, we're able to more spread kindness and love and gratitude and share with them that. And that's the whole goal of Ripple Ranch. If you remember our mission statement, it's spreading kindness, love, and gratitude through people, animals, and food. And everything that we're doing is aligned with that. And the more people that come and the more horsepower my spirit has in it to show up in a way that isn't overworked and overtaxed and overstressed and all those things, but I can present myself more in a balanced way, more in the center, free of judgment and full of curiosity, then I have this chance to really be something beautiful to people that I interact with. And if we can interact with them as a totality here on that ranch, all holding that space, then we fulfill our mission, which is to send them home with more kindness, send them home with more love, because that ripple, it will keep going. It doesn't stop between me and them. When you're filled with kindness and love and gratitude, you just naturally give it away again. It's a natural thing. It's contagious. Those things, they will pass along, and now I'm fulfilling my mission. So not that I think that should be your mission, but that's what we're about. So I guess I hope you find this interesting. There's probably lots of dumb things I'm doing that people might point out. If you do it kindly. In the messages, tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you like about what we're doing. Give us some feedback. We enjoy hearing from you, and we do our best to respond. So I hope you find that helpful. Marc Warnke signing out.